enjoy the show. Take it easy, man.
All right, later.
All right,
Peace.
take it easy, Tank. Take it easy, buddy.
User disconnected from
Let's
your
go into the
channel.
flank chat, all right?
I don't like the.
Channel switched.
Yeah, you gotta drag my ass, man.
Like a month ago?
Hey, wake up.
Here you go.
Yeah, fine.
I gotta drag them all. They're got perms.
Hold on.
Hey, wake up. User was moved to your channel.
Over my TeamSpeak, my.
All right, there you go.
Give me a second. I need to message DJ, bro. This is unacceptable.
What happened?
Bro, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. You have no permissions. Actually,
Every game,
you have
every game.
permissions.
We're good, bro. We can start the chat right now. We're good, bro. You ready?
Yeah, I'm good. We can roll it.
Slayer, Chris, you guys ready?
Oh, I'm chilling. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. Go, Gizmo, go.
Went inside and got pushed into the
All right, we're gonna start the show in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
They had to collide. Why the fuck? That was a difference because the first game, MJ was at safety, so he saved a lot of touchdowns. Right. And then he played linebacker in that game, so he jumped outside. That whole was over it. Yeah, well. It over it. That bit really, and then it was one where I had the corner plant up and I called the go route. The quarterback just scrambled out the pocket. All he had to do was catch it and punch it. It was the route. So soon as the break came off the line, he shot right by him. Yeah. But damn, they playing different. The first game, best D. I ain't gonna lie, they was tackling. Yeah. They just was tackling. Yeah. See, that first game, them linebackers played light side. That second, I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know what it was at the second game. It was a good game though. It was well worth watching. That bitch happening. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Hey, what's the goal for 13U, man?
Ooh, national championship. That's the only goal.
So who we calling out, man?
Shit, we're going to play DA first game.
Wait up. Going to get your bike back.
Man, look, just like we did 12U.
Y'all
Away.
That's 4 words, by the way.
I mean, you could just say "told you so." That's why I said 4 if you want to say
Yeah, that is 4 words. That is 4 words, man. No way.
Listen. At the end of the day, early, Tom, early, and I think that should be the kind of the story of the show is that early. It's never wrong.
Yeah, listen. Let's get right into it. Those of you who don't know, Optic Texas, a little bit of intel dropping on the timeline today was leaving a lot of people shocked. A lot of people with their jaws dropped. Intel. The rumor is that Arcides and Pered will be joining Optic Texas for Dashi and Illy. Some people were like, maybe it's just a rumor. It's not happening. But Illy's been...
it's happening.
It's happening. Dashi, he tweeted something. He also...
Is the Pred thing 100p? Like, do we...
No. So the Pred thing ain't 100p yet, and I'll tell you why. We'll get to that.
Okay.
But I'm saying right now, as of right now, it's pretty obvious that Optic is trying to get other players right now, and Pred is on their list. But it seems like Dashi and Illy are already looking elsewhere, based off their tweets and based off, even Dashi taking Optic out of his name, I think was a big tell as well. I don't think he would have done that.
Could you do me a favor?
Of course, Mr. Slang.
Could you go to my Twitter? This isn't a self promo or anything, but go to my Twitter.
Okay.
It's the last video that I tweeted. Not the evil laugh. The video right under that on December 19th. This is from a flank back on October 11th, I believe. I just want us to watch this really quick.
All right, let's tune in.
It's a good watch. I agree with Pat.
Let's tune in to the Slay's tweet.
In my mind, they're like, damn,
I mean,
we
it
could get
happened to
somebody
me.
better.
And legitimately, you're talking to someone who was legitimately happening. So
I know.
I'm also been around enough to know, like, I'm not gonna be weird. I'm not gonna.
But I think it's still gonna affect these guys going forward this year.
I don't know if it's gonna affect them as much as you think, but I mean, bro, they probably, champs went to shit. They got into a huge argument, maybe some emotions flared out. They made a decision, they regretted it, they pulled it back, and they probably talked about it, and they're going into it. Way to go, Optic. I look like a moron. Slate.
And as soon as they get Neslo'd by Florida at the first event, bro, it's all coming back.
Well, that's the main concern is they have to. No, but right there, I was about to say they have to start out hot or they're gonna end up changing it. Why'd you cut that out, Slay? Why'd you cut that out?
I just wanted to get the part out where
I look like a moron.
where I said as soon as they get Neslo'd by Florida at the first event, which just happened, like it was wrote all along, Tom. I was writing the story for you all along.
You were writing it, Slay. You were writing it.
This motherfucker don't miss.
As soon as it happens.
Nah, he's fucking good.
Not even the day we get back. The day of back. If they blow it up. Because they're blowing it up, Tom.
They're blowing it up. I mean, listen, I look at it as if you're changing half the team, you're blowing it up a little bit. You're blowing up half of it. You're blowing up half of it.
Well, okay.
Keep going.
I don't know why Tom's fire alarm's going off, but I think, first off, pump the brakes a sec. I think there's two changes going on here. Change one is, the rumored change with Arcities, which I think I did a video on it yesterday, and I think, as some of the people have kind of reported throughout the day, like that one seems to have legs about it. I think the other change is what's going on with Pred, and I think that one's a little bit more questionable. I was trying to dive in before the show and really get a sense of like the validity of the Pred move, and I think there's some smoke there, but I don't know if there's fire there yet.
Oh, bro! I don't know if you did that because of Tommy's fire alarm, but that was so good.
That's not intentional.
I was gonna say there is some smoke there, dude. Tommy had to open up the window.
Chill out, bro. Fire! These are fire! Everybody get down. Shit is hitting the fan. Shit is fucking hitting the fan. We gotta regain.
Dude,
let's go ahead, Ben. Let's regain. Ben, I want to get your thoughts initially. One, if they are to get this team with Arcities and Pred, if they were to get this, let's just say hypothetically they get this roster, I think it's a very good roster. But what are your thoughts, Benjay Nassim?
I mean, if they go with this 4, I think it kind of solves a couple of issues they have. I think it provides a little bit more leadership. We know what Alec can bring to a team when he's going with the full speed leadership. We've seen, he's won chips in the past doing that. And I like the pace of moving Seth to more of a flex role, and that Shotzi and Pred are going to take routes off of spawn. So we talk about pacing, right? We talk about how they're going to space the map, how they're going to engage situations. It solves that because I think it was a little bit disjointed on their last team. So on paper, if they pull this off, I think that's a big W for Optic.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think if they can get this roster, great. Not so much because Alec. I think Alec is a good player and all, but I just think Pred is that guy. Pred is
with him and Shotzi together will be a deadly combo. They'll be hard to track on a map. They'll be very quick.
I think the way the game has been panning out right now with like how Kismet and Hydra, their dynamic, like they're just super aggressive. They got a lot of pace to them. I could see this also working out in their favor.
Slayer, what do you think about the roster if they were to get it?
I think they'd be all right.
You think they'll be all right?
Yeah, look, I mean, we know Pred's a beast, right? I might have, my little bit of questions around Arcities. I think for the most part, I think this team will be they'll be solid. They'll be better than the roster they got now. But I think I brought it up on another show. Like part of me just feels like this team is just gonna choke. Like no matter what roster iteration they have, I feel like they're gonna choke this year. I don't know why. It's one of those feelings, Tom.
All that aside, I just think these guys need some fucking passion, bro. And I like what AG brings. AG, we know AG's energy. Sure. AG brings a lot of energy, a lot of positivity, and he's a hard worker, man. And I think these guys just need something like that. We've heard stories of, I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying we've heard stories of Brandon being a complacent player as of late. And obviously, these guys have just been having turmoil since last year. These guys just need a change of scenery. They need somebody that's going to rejuvenate the team and kind of just like get people going, bro. Because like, they're just kind of like dead. Like they're just like it seems like there's no personality to that team right now. Like they're, I'm saying. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
They had a rough start. I think the things that happened in
last year.
No, but I think what happened in the off season, Chris, fucked them up a little bit. Maybe like with all the back and forth with the roster, and then it gets leaked that they're changing. They end up calling it back and going back with the same roster.
Nah, that shouldn't.
No. And it didn't. And I think no. Listen. Ben, I swear.
Yeah.
All right. But they had to come out hot. They had to start the season hot, and they didn't. And I think that was like, then, you know, everything starts coming back to them. I think those same emotions come back, and, you know, I think they just said, fuck it, let's pull the trigger now. You know, let's pull the trigger now and just do what we got to do. I personally wasn't sure how early they were going to do it. I didn't think it was going to be after Major 1. I thought it was just too early. I didn't think they were going to be thinking like that. But I was wrong with that. But I think we can all agree that, you know, that might have had something to go with it. I mean, what do you think, Ben? Ben, now you could get the floor, Ben. Now you could get the floor.
I'm going on a little bit of a mini rant here. I'll try and speed up as much as I can.
Okay.
I think I speak for all Optic fans when I assume they're all tired for a number of years now hearing about how in big moments, this core group of players is going quote in bad practice. They pull up to a key event and they're just not prepared. I think everybody is totally over that in the fan base side. So I agree with you, Chris. Bringing in people like AG and Alec that aren't going to stand for that BS is going to be really important for them if they're making those changes. And I actually disagree with it because, bro, they pump fake the roster change as we've like coined that phrase, I guess, over the course of this stream. Tom, I've been tuning in. You know, they made that fake out over the summer. And I thought that would have been enough of a catalyst for this team to try and make it work. But clearly it didn't. And I think the reason you're hearing about these changes now or rumor changes is because other people on the roster are like, you know what? We're just not going to stick in and maybe it works down the line and it works in April. Let's try and get a new roster in and actually do something this year instead of dealing with the same old BS over and over and over.
Would you guys agree with that? Slay and Chris, would you agree on Benji and Asim with that one?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, bro, as soon as I heard that my teammates wanted to drop me, and I don't give a fuck what the decision is or what the consensus is, and we ended up playing, it's chalked, bro. Like, if you already give me any sense of not wanting to be on the same team as me, like, I'm checked. I don't give a fuck if I'm signed to a contract. Like, that's just me as a player. I don't know about you.
Unless they came out and did some crazy. Unless they came out and just fried the first event. I think.
Yeah,
it would
exactly.
Different.
Like if we came out and we were good, right? We'll get over it. But if we're struggling, if people are still having the same issues with complaints, like if we basically said, "Yo, we want to get rid of you two," and there was clear fucking reasons why, because I'm sure they had a discussion in terms of like why they each other had these feelings. Unless they didn't, which I think would be stupid.
They wouldn't be thinking about a change if they didn't have.
Exactly. And if you don't come out and fix those issues that I had a fucking problem with and we're still not good, I'm pissed. I'm done. Like, there's no point.
The only thing I worry about now, and this is kind of what I wanted to get into next, is it might be too late now to get somebody like this. I just don't know if they're going to be able to approach Seattle and poach them. And Ben, I want to let you have the floor because I'm not saying it's impossible because Optic definitely can buy him out and definitely poach him from Seattle. But do you think Seattle's just going to do that? Do you think they're going to sell him? Which, I mean, if it's for a good chunk of change, they might. You know, it depends what it is.
If it's for absolute racks,
especially because
100%.
I'm pretty sure he's on a 1+1 right now, and this is his second year, which would make him a free agent at the end of the year. So Seattle might just want to make a buck on him at this point because he might leave at the end. He has the option to leave at the end of the year. He doesn't have to stay. He can do whatever he wants. He has all the power.
Weirdly enough, with the Pred situation, the economics probably get better for Optic as they get closer to the end of his deal, right? Like, because they have because Seattle's got less and less leverage because he doesn't have a full year at that point, so they can't ask for a full value of whatever the year of his contract is or whatever what's going on with Tom's smoke alarm. So that's that piece of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't want him later. They want him now. They got Scump on his last year. They're trying to make the best of the situation.
They're gonna if they want him, they're gonna have to pay up because
they are gonna pay racks for this guy.
I heard his buyout is quite.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay a lot for sure.
And if Seattle gives him up for anything less, they are fucking faded.
Yeah,
this guy's actually this guy, no bullshit. If every single team in the league needed a sub. Like for whatever reason, this guy would be the most coveted player of all time.
Well, no, they're not faded. No, if they get a good buck for him though, Chris, they're not faded. Especially because he's a free agent at the end of the year and he could walk for free. Like if they can make a buck on him now,
well,
you do it now.
Yeah, they need
but it has to be for. I mean, it has to be for something worth it. And I don't even know how the rules work. Ben, wasn't there a clause where the buyout is the yearly salary, or was that just like in the initial contract?
Yeah, no, that's no.
That's a no? Okay.
That was a year zero.
Regardless, Tom, I think that Optic is desperate, bro. Like they need this guy on their team if they want. Like I think Alex a great pickup, but like they need to solve their SMG issue because as much as Seth is pretty good with a sub, I think he's going to bring a lot more value as an AR on their team. Their biggest issue, and so why they've struggled the last couple years, is because they cannot consistently as a team keep up with the pace that all these other teams are playing at. Period. like on a
bro,
consistent basis.
I'm curious.
They
Chris,
need this guy on their team if they want to have a chance of winning.
Chris,
listen.
you want to pick up first, Pat? Chris,
go ahead.
Do you agree with the this ethos that some people in the community have, that you need like an unquote guy that always takes long routes in your team, or are you a guy that believes like
Everyone
right
should do everything?
Spawn should do everything. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone should do everything. The problem is with Call of Duty players is like there's just people that are just not as good at realizing certain situations. There's a lot of one-dimensional just players in the league. I was telling even at the core level, I was talking to a couple of amateur people that I'm friends with. We were spitballing about Call of Duty in general. The reason what separates pro teams from AM teams is that every single person could take an information and formulate a play and take over communications in a certain role. And I think even at the pro level, a lot of people struggle with that to the point where that's what differs a really good team from an average team. And it goes so much further than that, basically.
And I'll let you go next, Pat, but this is my problem with Optic, because going back and watching the VODs from, last weekend, the only person really taking long routes on the team is Shotzi. Going back and watching their VODs from the end of last season, the only one taking long routes off of spawns is Shotzi. And the problem is, if you break your team rules, you're screwing up all of your timing. So that's why I really like picking up a Pred type player, because he's also someone that when he's the right person to come off a spawn and hit that route, no hesitation, he's hitting that, and you're going to get the best timing that way. Go ahead, Pat.
Listen, I think Pred's in a great position right here to negotiate himself a nice 3-year deal with Seattle. And I think he's in an even better position to, if he doesn't already have it, take absolute full control of this roster. And I think he should do that. I personally think he should. I think he's in a position right now where he could say, look, I want Dante, but let me get rid of Lamar. Let me get rid of Mac. And obviously we see teams are in turmoil right now. There's no reason Seattle Surge cannot be a main player in this roster mania and build a team that I think would be even better than that Optic roster. That would be my personal opinion.
That's also a pretty good take.
Don't you think
that was a fucking terrible take?
There's other benefits to being on Optic. There's other benefits to being on Optic, though, Slay.
Exactly.
There's other benefits to that for him personally and his brand, and as a player, and the players he's going to be playing with.
If he's a winner, he does what I just said.
Wait, I don't think that's a bad take at all, Zinni. I think he's at a point. He's at a point right now where he can leverage both situations in his favor. He can basically secure himself a spot on the Seattle team and kind of take over in terms of who he wants to play with, if he wants to stay on that team, or he could join, or he can potentially join Optic if that goes through and secure himself a spot for a long time, because we know Scump's going to be gone.
Do you take a little bit of a pay cut to go to Optic? Probably. He'll still get a good deal.
It's up to what he wants to do. It's what he wants to do.
Hold on. If you are Pred, probably the most talked about SMG player in the league right now, you absolutely do not sign a 3-year contract right now.
Agreed.
If it's over $1 million, why not?
Because it's not going to go anywhere. The same 3-year deal that they'd offer him right now is still going to be there in 6 months.
It's not a fully guaranteed deal. It doesn't even matter.
If you're a Pred, you sign nothing. First and foremost,
depends what they offer him. That's true.
He would have to re-sign with Optic, though.
Okay. First and foremost, hypothetically, Optic wants him, and the face of Optic is retiring. Pred will want to go to Optic, and him staying at Seattle and building whatever squad you think he could build is not worth that offer.
I think he could be a better team on that Seattle team if they do what I said.
It depends on what this man's priorities are. Like you said, if he's trying to leverage a situation where if he likes his team, if he likes the majority of his team,
hold on.
And
to
he's
act like a roster with Pred,
I was going to say the same thing. That's a good roster.
To act like a roster with Pred, Shotzi, and Scump can't compete for titles. Listen, bro, I'm sorry.
Who said that?
Hold on. Listen. Pat's saying he could take control of Seattle and build a roster. That's a very good team right there. And Call of Duty is a game where it's very hard in general to build a consistent winning team. Otherwise,
hold on. We're acting like
win every single event.
We never said it wasn't a good team. We said if he likes playing with his current team and he wants to stick with them or the majority of it, he can leverage himself a better deal there or a better situation there, or he can take the other one. He has options. There's not one option this guy takes.
A roster of Shotzi, Scump, Dashy, and Illy isn't just as good. Let's be clear here. Those guys are still stars. Let's not act like just because we get rid of those two guys,
I agree with
that
you.
this is gonna make this team that much better. I truly believe that he could have a better roster on Seattle, because I think Sib is a better player than Alec by a fucking mile and a half. I think they could get I really do think they could get somebody in replace of just those two guys, Lamar and Mac. That would be a much better roster than this Optic team.
The only thing, Pat, I want to push back on, and
Right.
I want to stop the convo around this now on this episode, because if I ever hear it again, I'm gonna lose full. Bro, long-term deals for players aren't as good as y'all think they are. They're not. This isn't like a Carlos Correa, fucking Aaron Judge situation where you sign a deal and it's fully guaranteed for 12 years, 11 years, whatever. You
Yep.
sign a 3-year deal and you're pred. By default in that contract, there's a 60-day out. Right, it is not a fully guaranteed contract.
Pred's not getting dropped. Pred's not getting dropped. Let's stop acting like Pred would get dropped.
I get that, but it's also like
Pred would have
no
to
point-
break his
no, hold
hand.
on.
paid the length of that contract.
Which
There
could
is no
happen.
point-
And
hold
obviously,
on,
I would
hold
never
on.
want
Bro,
it to happen. But it's
hold
just
on,
what
hold
Ben's
on.
trying to say.
Three-year
It's not a
contract.
3-year
Hold on,
guarantee.
Trey.
Yo,
It's
chill,
not.
chill. One at a
Jesus.
time. One at a time.
Okay, listen.
Every
3-year
player is
contracts,
playing that.
3-year contracts do not favor players with high stock. Players right now, I'll just start naming them. Let's like Hydra, Pred. They don't really. The orgs gain everything from getting those guys on a 3-year contract.
Facts.
If you have that type of high stock, ideally you want a 1-year contract every single year. That way you can just keep running up the market every single year as a free agent.
Bro,
A
think
3-year
about it this
contract
way.
for a star player is completely one-sided to the organization. Makes no sense
I would say-
for any high-stock player to
I
sign.
actually
I would say
disagree. I
2-year
actually disagree.
contract Is the best, but go
I
ahead.
actually disagree.
Yeah.
If the money is right, there's no reason it's not favorable for the player.
If they
think
get a
about it like
2-year
this.
guarantee,
Think
if they get a
about it like
2-year
this.
guarantee, maybe.
Yeah,
If it's just
yeah.
a 1-year guarantee,
Bro,
no one signed
okay.
a guaranteed contract, bro. Like no
But-
orgs anymore after what happened in year 1 with speaking of Seattle, the fiasco with that roster.
Bro,
like,
bro,
looted,
hold
no
on,
one-
hold
none
on,
of
hold on,
these
no,
orgs
hold
really
on.
offering fully
We
guaranteed
literally
contracts.
have New York forfeiting to host their own major because they're paying Hydra so much. Let's not act like teams are not gonna fork up the money for a superstar player.
Where are you getting that from?
What do you mean? They're paying this guy. They're paying this guy out the wazoo.
And you assume you're just making that connection out of what?
Yeah, no one backs out of one of the most successful majors of last year. Listen, bro.
You're
At
just
the end of the
making shit
day,
up. What?
no. Listen, at the end of the day, bro. I think Pred's in a great position to get an amazing contract, but to get a fat stack of money. I think it doesn't matter where he goes at this point in time. I think he can get a fuck ton of money. And yeah, if the money is right, there's no downside to signing a long-term deal. A player like Pred is not getting dropped.
But what's
He's
the-
not.
Yeah, I mean, Slay, listen.
disagree.
Every team is going to pay out the lifetime of that deal.
Yeah, Slay,
They don't want to lose a player like
If it was
Pred.
fully guaranteed, which I don't think is going to happen, it could happen. I'm not going to sit here and say it won't, because it could
That's
happen.
never happening ever again.
But I just don't see him getting a fully guaranteed contract.
Unless this guy's getting
And
360
that's what I was
turned
trying
on.
to say. What Ben was saying, he was like, even if he signs a 3-year, like after the first year, anything can happen. Or if he gets
Even in the-
injured,
even in the
no,
first
say
year, they could just get out in 2
even
months.
if he gets injured or something happens, which obviously I would never wish any of that on any player. Like hopefully that never happens. But I'm just saying that's the whole point of security, right? Like having a guaranteed contract is having
it's not
security.
even injury, bro. Like
It could be
players
anything,
have-
but I'm just giving an
players have to
example.
realize, like the because of their, and we can say or talk about.
It's just not
credit unions and all
guaranteed.
that,
It's not.
The players don't have as many levers to get like amazing deals. And we can argue for a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal is better from a negotiating perspective. But my original point was just that like the 3-year deal is like really unfavorable to players because you get that unquote guarantee, but they can just pay you 2 months and you're done.
Yeah, I mean they could potentially, but if he does get a crazy guaranteed like 3-year, well that's different, like then and it also depends like how much it is, like what the numbers are, because Slayer, realistically, what would be your number if you were AG? What would be your number?
A 3-year deal?
A 3-year deal, let's say 2 years guaranteed. 3 years guaranteed is not gonna happen, bro. Like, can we agree on that at least?
If I'm him, I would do 2 mil over 3
3
years.
3-year guarantee is just not happening. It's just not gonna happen. But what do you think, Pat?
If, like I said, if I was the Seattle Surge general manager, Tom, I'd sign Pred to a 3-year guaranteed deal. I'd insure his hands. I do it all.
It's a London situation here, insuring.
Yeah, I'm insuring his hands, and I'm running the league with Sib and Pred and getting 2 guys that they can compete with, and we're winning every tournament. Period. We're beating Optic every event. We're beating FaZe. beat New York. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with AG. I mean, there's a lot of other commotion going on that we got to talk about, especially even the Seattle Surge roster, because if Pred were to go to Optic, now we got to talk about that roster, because I'm hearing some rumors there.
There's no one that can replace Pred to keep that team at the same level they're at right now. There's not a single player that can get right now.
And that is why Pred is in a position to literally
if Seattle loses Pred,
anything he wants.
Seattle might as well back out of the league. No bullshit.
Damn, you think? Well, what if they could, you don't think they could get like other good players? I mean, Pred is you can't replace Pred.
No,
that's gonna be hard.
I mean, they can get a solid player. I'm not saying they're gonna pick up a
instantly
shitter.
go to a non-contender. Instantly.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say non-contender.
Non-contender. They won't
go
win another time.
They go from a
event.
consistent contender to a question mark.
No. They go to a non-contender. They go to like the 8 through 12 range. They're hanging out with LAG every event on Fridays, Boston Breach, London, shit like that. They're hanging out. They're hopping on the couch on Thursday and Friday on the flank.
You're fucking weird.
And we're chilling.
Oh, that's good.
Bro, they
want to be, but if they want to be deep in the tournament on a Sunday, you do what I said.
I will say, without Pred, Mac and Accuracy, assuming they're still on the team, are gonna have to step up massively, because Pred and Sib were literally damn near killing everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing that the rumor is Wardy and Jodis Eves. That's the rumor.
What?
Yo, see you on the flank couch on Thursday night,
what,
my
Seattle?
brothers.
Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle?
Ben, right? Isn't that the rumor?
Go to Seattle.
Both or just one?
I'm just saying that's the rumor. No, not just one.
Okay,
it's just one.
Okay, listen, there are a lot of rumors. I want
There is a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors.
I want everybody to be very cautious. Like, I think what's going on here is that both the LAG, Seattle, and Optic situations are like very fluid. So there's a lot of names being thrown around whilst like buyouts are being negotiated and people are trying to fill replacements. So I urge extreme caution, because like we're in like the very fluid point of this process, and like it changes almost every 20 or 30 minutes sometimes, depending on the time of day. So just everybody like take a step back.
I mean, I agree, but Ben, we can say the same thing about AG, right? The way I look at it is Dashy and Illy are already going somewhere else. They're already going somewhere else. That's already done deal.
Are they going somewhere else?
They're gonna replace them one way or another. If they can't get AG, they're gonna probably.
It's a done deal. Or, like I'm saying,
I'm saying if they don't get AG, they're gonna get somebody else. Unless they're pump faking again. Unless they pump fake again.
If they don't get AG, they are going to dip. They have to dip into challengers.
Good lord.
Optic is not dipping into challengers, bro.
If that's not happening, then I don't know who else they can get.
Listen, hey, if Optic want to give up Brucey, bro, if I'm Seattle, give me Bruce all day of the week. Step number one. Later, Lamar. What's up, Bruce?
Would you do a trade? Would you do a trade at that point?
Optic's not gonna want Lamar, so probably not. But if Bruce is on the market, if Bruce,
Seattle really get better with Bruce though, like
they could get worse.
Better.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if they necessarily
get better.
They could get worse.
I mean, Lamar,
they could get worse.
I'm sorry, but Lamar brings a lot to a team than just like obviously he's not the biggest slayer on the team. He's not like the type of guy to go out and get a bunch of kills, but he does a lot for that team.
Bro, we need to get over this obsession that adding more kills to a team makes them better by default, because that's just not true.
Yeah, no, I don't
never
think.
know.
Yeah, like I want.
Listen, bro.
I sit here patented it 100% makes it better.
We see so many talented players not getting good placings because they don't know how to play the game. They don't play the game the right way.
It depends what Dashy they're getting too. Like
Exactly,
it's like,
facts.
bro, it's not like this guy's just like this guy's
get rid of
Black
Lamar
Ops 4
and
Dashy.
Mac.
There's a world where this guy's still
Rid of
like
Lamar-
he's
hold on,
still
nah.
not.
I get rid of Lamar and Mac, and I wouldn't get Bruce and Illy, but I would get Bruce and someone else.
Unsung hero. I think Mac is like probably the most underrated player in the league.
The problem with Mac is like when he's an X factor, right? He has to be on to be like that unsung hero. When he's not on, it's just like he's another dude.
How much of that inconsistency is him, and how much of that is because he's definitely trying to make sure that Dante and Pride are getting set up in the positions that they want to go to in the map. And as you guys know, when players have to extreme gap fill, it's not easy in Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, to be fair, somebody at Dashy's level should be able to do it. He's one event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he should, but
he should 100% be able to do it. But
that's like saying everyone should be. That's like saying everyone should be able to call out in gunfights, but that's just not a thing.
I think Lamar brings like a different level of like accountability to like that young team. Like I feel like with like those young guys and like they're pretty like amped personalities, right? Like they can get sort of crazy, and I feel like he keeps them grounded. So I don't know. A lot of people will hate on Lamar because
that helps.
a lot of
that
people
helps when
hate,
you're down too.
a lot of people will hate on like sometimes he's not going to have the best stats, and
I think
like,
if
like that guy is always in the hill, and like I will defend the fact that like he does
doesn't
not
have
get
to
his
get
flowers.
kills.
He doesn't get flowers for what he does for that
Bro,
team.
no one is
Everybody's
hating.
so caught
that
up.
attitude also helps when you got to come back from behind. You make that roster better. You don't ever got to come back from behind. You're in the driver's seat 24/7.
I think there's a world if Lamar gets dropped off this team that I don't even know if he'd get on another team. On top of that, I feel like if they try to
insane because the guy just placed second at the first major of the year, and the fact that like that can even come out of someone's mouth is pretty fucking.
I think Lamar could get on a few teams. I think Lamar could get on LAG. I think he could get on Boston. I think he could get on London. I think he could get on Florida. I think there's a lot of teams that.
I mean, the reason being is it's hard to get
with one of those, but
it's hard to get moved around. It's hard to get moved around.
Would improve a lot of teams. What do you mean?
I think it's hard to get moved around as an AR
I
in
put
general.
Lamar on Paris. Lamar can make it on half the league.